this is Anne from Connected Touch Wellness Consulting, here with the second video in our Flexor Wellbeing Muscles series, in which we're talking about how to activate your body's powers to increase your overall well-being. I hope you enjoyed the first video. Thank you so much for coming back for the second video. Today we are going to talk about the I in the BMI. So last time we talked about checking yourself out and checking in with your belly, your muscles, and your inhalations. Today we're going to talk about inhalations, and I'm going to teach you something to use your breath to lower yourself out of that stress response. We're starting with the end because it's one of my favorite things, and I just can't wait to get started with it. So, I am once again filming outside. It's the quietest and prettiest part, excuse me, of my life. So I apologize for any ambient noise. I also want to start this video with giving you a disclaimer that I am not a doctor or holistic or medical. So if you have any concerns from that perspective, please check in with your individual practitioner before beginning this program. Today I'm going to teach you balanced breathing. It's a technique that I first encountered during a course for emotional freedom tapping technique, which is a really awesome technique that I teach a lot of my individual clients. But balanced breathing is something that I felt like we could discuss over video and that could be immediately effective for you as a person who is trying to improve their well-being. Again, I want to place this in the context of in 2020 and how being mindful and intentional about your breath is not something that's afforded to everyone right now for a variety of reasons. So I want to offer us the opportunity to take a moment and sit in our gratitude for the fact that we have time and ability to watch this video and learn how to breathe better. Okay. All right, let's get into it. First, I'm going to break down the 5 W's, the how, what, when, why. And then once we've gone through that and talked about all of those, then I'm going to just do it again from the top without my monologue. And hopefully that will be helpful for you to learn how to do it without my voice guiding you through it. But I really want to break it down first because I think it's important to understand what's happening and why you're doing it. Okay? Balanced breathing. What is it? It is an intentional form of breathing that is a centering and calming exercise. Breath is incredibly powerful. Obviously, it's essential for our survival, but it is also one of the coolest things that our body does, and it is incredibly powerful for your mental, emotional well-being as well as your physical well-being. So it is a way of mindfully using your breath to center yourself. When would you do it? You would do it when you feel yourself starting to get into that stress response, when you feel like your sympathetic nervous system is starting to take over and your anxiety is rising. It's a really good way to kind of dampen it down a little bit and bring yourself back. You can do it also when you are already high in that stress and anxiety response, if you still have the ability to say, oh, I need to find one of my coping skills. This is a really good coping skill to use in that moment to help yourself kind of come back down. You can also do it throughout the course of your day when you're not in a stress response. If you just feel like you need a moment and you feel like you need to find your center again, you don't have to be stressed out to do this. It can be something that you just do at 2 o'clock on a Tuesday because you feel like it. Where would you do this? Anywhere your body is. You do tend to get some funny looks if you do this in a crowd, but we need to normalize this. So I would encourage you to do it wherever you are. Why would you do this? We kind of talked about this a little bit already, but this is a powerful tool for bringing yourself back into the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest and digest, recovery, homeostasis nervous system. So it's a way of flooding your body with oxygen and telling your body that you are not in that crisis stress response. You are in a calm space. So that's why you would do it. And we'll talk a little bit more about the individual whys of each step as we go through it. How would you do it? That's the key question. I'm going to show you. So you can do this standing. I'm currently sitting because I'm filming, but you can do this standing. You just want to make sure that your feet are in a comfortable position. I like to make sure that they're grounded on the floor. Especially if you're sitting, make sure you're in a good posture. We all tend to turtle, which we're going to talk about in another video. So make sure you're kind of in a good position. You're comfortable. You're not like scrunched. You're not clenched. Remember that M in the BMI. Remember, you're not doing that. You're just kind of in a good, calm place. And you're going to need your hands. Some of you watching this may only have use of one arm. That's fine. You can do it with one arm, whatever arm you have. If you have both arms, you have a couple of options. 2 options. You can either put one on your heart and one on your stomach, or you can put one on your heart and then the other one on top of that one. I vary. I will do either one depending on if I'm getting signals from my stomach that it needs a little bit of love. You know, if you get that pit feeling in your stomach, then I'll put my hand on my stomach. Right now I'm more feeling kind of the heart place, so that's why I'm going to put my arms, but either one is fine. It's really whatever is most comfortable for you. So you put whatever naturally, don't think about it too much. Just put one hand down, put your other hand on top of it. Okay, so now you're in the position. It's pretty simple, right? Next up, you're going to try to think about what it is that you want to focus yourself about. It's kind of a word sentence, but what is it that is stressing you out? What is it that you feel like is kind of freaking out that anxiety piece of you? It can be something really small, like I just spilled my coffee on my shirt. Or it can be something really global, like the one that I did this weekend, I will be honest with you, was the federal unemployment benefits. That's what was sourcing my stress. So it can go from really tiny to really global. Whatever comes to your mind, whatever is on your heart, that's what you need to focus on. No one is here to judge you for what you're stressing about. For today, I think I am going to focus on dropping my son off at daycare. Was really hard. He cried, and I cried. So I think I'm going to focus on that. I'm going to take a few breaths, and I'm going to try and articulate what I'm feeling about that. So I'm feeling guilty for making my son cry, for dropping him off. That's what my source of stress is right now. All right, so once you've done that, take a minute, figure it out. You're going to say out loud, I'm okay, even though I feel guilty about dropping my son off at daycare. Do you hesitate a little bit to say it out loud? I know when I started I did. I didn't want to say it out loud. I wanted it to be my interior voice because I was worried that it was going to embarrass myself, or I felt a little dorky too. I am here to tell you that I think it works better if you say it out loud. It's a plane going by, sorry. Why? For several reasons. One, I think that we need to become comfortable with acknowledging our stress. We don't need to hide it. We need to bring it out into the light, and I think that's incredibly important. From a more practical standpoint, if you are in that anxiety response, in that sympathetic nervous system, you're in your animal brain. You're in your part of your brain that is not relying on conscious thought. It's relying on instinct and reflex and all this kind of stuff. So anything you can do to bring yourself more into the frontal cortex, the more logical part of your brain, is helpful. So you want to do something that makes you think, that makes you use different parts of your brain versus the part that's in the scared rabbit phase. So talking, listening to what you say are all things that bring you a little bit more forward and bring you more into that conscious part. So that's why I think you should say it out loud. If you're in public, you want to say it inside. It's not like it doesn't work. It's just more effective, I think, if you say it out loud. So you're going to articulate what you're feeling, and you're going to say it out loud. You don't have to scream it, but just in your normal tone of voice. I'm okay, even though I feel guilty about taking my son to daycare. See, it makes me pout. I didn't even do that consciously. It made me pout. Once you've said it, you're going to take 3 really deep mindful breaths. I want you to feel your ribcage expanding. I want you to feel the breath going all the way down as far as it can. And I want you to feel your hands rising and then falling as you do it. So we're going to do 3 breaths. Oh, I always learn to breathe in through your nose, breathe out through your mouth. I sometimes have a hard time with that. I tend to just rely on my nose. So if it's going to stress you out more to think about breathing through your nose and out through your mouth, don't worry about it. If you can do that, that's what I recommend. We have 2 more. All right, so once you've done it 3 times, You switch the position of your hands. So you can either do switch, or my hand was on like this and I switched like that. You're going to repeat it. You're going to say, I'm okay, even though I took my son to daycare. I feel guilty for taking my son to daycare. I'm going to do 3 breaths. All right, gonna repeat it one more time. 3 is a magic number. I don't know why. I'm sure I should probably look up the science behind it, but when I was in massage school, somebody told me that you need 3 repetitions of every movement for your brain to register it to the full extent. Excuse me. So obviously, if you do something once, it's not like your brain doesn't notice, but if you do it 3 times, that's when you're really sort of making the neurological difference. So with like massage strokes and touch and repetition, I always do at least 3. So let's switch again and we'll do our last one. I'm okay, even though I feel guilty about dropping my son off at daycare. Okay. Now I want you to check in with yourself a little bit. So when you were thinking before about your stress, was it like a 10? Was it like a 9? Or you just kind of know by the way you were feeling? Now check in with yourself again. Does it feel any better? Does it feel any lower? I will tell you that for me, I was able to say it without pouting voluntarily the 3rd time, but I still feel a little about it. So I would choose to do it again, do another set of 3. If you feel like you've kind of brought yourself down already, you can end with that first set. But if you feel like you need a little bit more, then do it again. Make sure you do the whole 3 repetitions with the switching again, because otherwise it doesn't really work. How do you feel? You feel better? I know it's kind of quick. It seemed kind of simple. You might not feel like it made a difference, but I bet if you check in with yourself, you will feel the difference. Let's go through it again without me kind of monologuing and talking about prefrontal cortexes and all that stuff. So let's just go ahead and just do it from beginning to end. So many trucks passing by this morning. I don't know if you can hear them. Hopefully not. Let's do it again. I'm going to pick a different one this time. I'm going to say, think about what I'm having stress about. Come with me on this journey. I want you to do this by yourself with your own personal worry. You don't have to echo mine. And I want you to be kind of following the steps as I do them along. But I'm going to narrate mine so you know what's happening. Okay, I'm going to breathe out my worry about the fact that we have to move in a month. It's a big one for me. Moving is a trigger for me in a lot of different ways. And anytime I kind of think about it, I feel that muscle clenching, the inhalation's getting fast, and I feel myself moving up into the sympathetic. So I'm going to do my balanced breathing, bring the balance back to my systems, and move myself lower into parasympathetic, rest and digest. Okay. I think I might actually do the belly on this one too. For some reason that made my belly kind of... Okay. I'm okay, even though I'm scared about moving in a month. Time to switch. I'm okay, even though I'm scared about moving in a month. One more. I'm okay, even though I'm scared about moving in a month. All right. I'm feeling a lot lower about that, actually. I don't know if you could tell. I felt like my voice kind of dropped and my intonation definitely calmed down. So I'm going to be done with that one. If you need to keep going, keep going. And that's it. That's balanced breathing. And again, it seems simple, but it has been life-changing for me. Especially if I'm in a stressful situation, I feel myself starting to go out. I step to somewhere a little bit more private. I take a minute and I breathe myself back into balance. It's incredible. So I'm hopeful that it will be helpful for you. Let me know. Thank you for joining me on video 2 of Flex Your Wellbeing Muscles. Join us again. We'll have another video. We're going to move into the muscles next time. So join us again when we come back to talk about muscles. As always, if you are interested in individualized consulting services or looking for someone to hold space with you, I'm available. Reach out through my website, www.connectivetouchconsulting.com. I'm here for you. And you can find us on Instagram and Facebook too. All right, my friends, thank you for joining us. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Be well. Talk to you soon.